If you are a student who is not in the 9 a.m. group and you're like a 9:45 or 10:30 kiddo and you're watching the recording, you're going to have to fast forward to your session because I'm going to start with the 9 o'clock session and just roll straight through. So you'll just have to stop the recording a few times and figure out where you begin. All right. So I promised you that last week we would get difficult. We would do some hard stuff. So we're going to start looking at some algebraic equations and expressions. And then I'm also going to tie in some of the work that you've been doing, at least in the sixth grade curriculum. It'll look familiar to some of you sixth graders. All right. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Hopefully you have your pen or pencil and some paper ready. And let's just kind of start out, and this isn't pretty. Sorry, I know it's not pretty. Let's start off with some of the things that you've been working on in sixth grade class. Maybe. It's going to take forever, apparently, to pull up. No! Oh my God, are you kidding me? Right.
Is it frozen?
Yes. Hold on, we'll get it. Here we go. All right. It's kind of like taking a little bit longer for you guys to see it, but you'll be okay. All right, here we go. It shows up on my screen like 5 seconds before yours. All right. Question number 1. So which, and you're going to type your answer into the chat, by the way. Which expression is equivalent to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3? So you have some choices. You have choice A, B, C, or D. So let's just warm up our brains and start off here. Okay, so which expression is equivalent to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3?
Are they talking about powers?
Yes. Very good, Clara. Very good, Sienna. And great, Tyler. So everybody got that? That means 3 to the 4th power because you're multiplying 3 by itself 4 times. Perfect. All right, now I want you to, and this will be kind of hard to type into the chat, but you'll figure it out. I want you to write 8 times 8 using an exponent. So how would I write the expression 8 times 8? Using exponents. So I don't want the answer. I want, how would I express that using exponents? You might have to use some words to type it out. Very good, Clara. So she typed in there 8 squared. Using, just standard notation, it would look more like this. 8 to the 2nd power is the same thing. Very good, Sienna, as saying 8 times 8. I figured out my sketch pad, by the way, so we'll be able to use this today. I'm pretty excited about it. All right.
Yay!
Yay! All right, and number 3. So we're going through these kind of quickly, but you guys got it. Which expression is equivalent to 6 times 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 6? So you might have to do a little counting there on your screen. 1, 2. The only 2 logical answers would either be C or D, so it would be 6 to the 8th power. Great. All right, and here we go. Number 4, write 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 using an exponent instead of this ugly expression. So that would be 8 to the...
I'm trying to think, is there a word for it? I can't remember.
It would be 8 to the 7th power, right? Because that is 8 times itself 7 times. So you would write 8 to the 7th power like this. 8 to the 7th power is the same thing as saying 8 times 8 times 8 all the way through. Okay? All right. That was pretty easy, I think. So let's move on It was just a warm up of kind of some similar stuff that you've been doing in sixth grade work. And if you're not in sixth grade, okay. All right, moving on. We have a little video. It's pretty short. Hopefully it comes up. It's taking
Oh, I
forever.
love Khan Academy.
Yeah, me too. You know what I really like is when Khan Academy works.
Dang it.
Well, sometimes things take a long time when I'm running GoToMeeting. I'm running a ton of
Yeah.
tabs in Chrome. I mean, you could see it's spinning. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. People
Yeah,
keep moving in above us. So annoying.
it is annoying. I know. I wonder if this will come up quicker.
Just like the people, we live in an apartment right now,
Yeah,
and we're in the middle of the floor, so we'll hear kids screaming from downstairs and stomping from upstairs, and
that
it's
that
and
would be
especially
pretty
it's not helping right now, especially because there's people moving upstairs, and people are moving in.
annoying. Oh, geez, that's pretty
Yeah,
noisy.
yeah, that's why you just heard a lot of clapping there, probably.
That's okay. It's not too bad. All right, here
Yeah.
we go. Order of operations. Little connection that we can make right quick to our NASA unit. This is a mnemonic device to remember the order of operations. Hopefully, you guys have heard this before, but please excuse my dear Aunt Sally will remind you of order of operations, but I'll let them tell you.
We're asked to simplify 8 plus 5 times 4 minus, and then in parentheses, 6 plus 10 divided by 2 plus 44. Whenever you see some type of crazy expression like this where you have parentheses and addition and subtraction and division, you always want to keep the order of operations in mind. And let me write them down over here. So when you're doing order of operations, or really when you're evaluating any expression, you should have this at the top of your, or in kind of the front of your brain, is that the top priority goes to parentheses. 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 And those are these little brackets over here, or however you want to call them. Those are the parentheses right there. That gets top priority. Then after that, you want to worry about exponents. There are no exponents in this expression, but I'll just write it down just for future reference.
So notice the
Exponents.
P and then the E.
One way I like to think about it is parentheses, that always takes top priority. But then after that, we go in descending order, or I guess we should say in descending order of how kind of fast that computation is. And when I say fast, how fast it grows. When I take something to an exponent, when I'm taking something to a power, it grows really fast. Then it grows a little bit slower, or shrinks a little bit slower if I multiply or divide. So that comes next. Multiply or divide. Multiplication and division comes next. And then last of all comes addition and subtraction. So these are kind of the slowest operations. This is a little bit faster. This is the fastest operation. And then the parentheses, just no matter what, always take priority. So let's apply it over here. Let me rewrite this whole expression. So it's 8 plus 5 times 4 minus, in parentheses, 6 plus 10 divided by 2 plus 44. So we're going to want to do the parentheses first. We have parentheses there and there. Now this parentheses is pretty straightforward. Well, inside the parentheses it's already evaluated, so we could really just view this as 5 times 4. So let's just evaluate that right from the get-go. So this is going to result in 8 plus, and really when you're evaluating the parentheses, if you evaluate this parentheses, you literally just get 5. And then you evaluate that parentheses, you literally just get 4, and then they're next to each other, so you multiply them. So 5 times 4 is 20, minus, let me stay consistent with the colors, minus, now let me write the next parenthesis right there. And then inside of it, we need to evaluate this first. So let me close the parenthesis right there. And we have plus 44. Plus 40.
Okay, let me pause it for just a second. I want to see in the chat with a thumbs up or a happy face or whatever. Is this making sense so far? They are doing the order of operations. They started with parentheses. Okay, no exponents, so they skipped that. Now we are going to move on to multiplication and division, and you just work from left to right, and then you end with addition and subtraction. Okay.
So what
We're
does
almost
this
done.
thing right here evaluate to, this thing inside the parentheses? Well, you might be tempted to say, well, let me just go left to right. 6 plus 10 is 16, and then divide by 2, and you would get 8. But remember, order of operations.
You gotta do
Division
this
takes
first.
priority over addition. So you actually want to do the division first. We could actually write it here like this. You could imagine putting some more parentheses. I'm doing that same purple. You could imagine putting some more parentheses right here to really emphasize the fact that you're going to do the division first. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this will result in 6 plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. 6 plus 5. Well, we still have.
Okay, so now I want you guys to go ahead and try to figure out this expression. We know that we still have one set of parentheses, so you need to do this problem first, 6 plus 5 first. And then everything else is just addition and subtraction. So after you figure out your parentheses, you're going to work from left to right. So I'm going to give you a minute to work that out, and then we'll see if you're correct. Okay, good. So tell me what you come up with. Okay, so we're getting a couple different answers, and that's okay. He's going to show us here in just a minute. All right.
Have to evaluate this parentheses. So this results with 6 plus 5. Well, that's 11. So we're left with 20. Let me write it all down again. We're left with 8 plus 20 minus 6 plus 5, which is 11, plus 44. And now that we have everything at this level of operations, we can just go left to right. So 8 plus 20 is 28. So you can view this as 28 minus 11 plus 44. 28 minus 11, 28 minus 10 would be 18, so this is going to be 17. It's going to be 17 plus 44. And then 17 plus 44, I'll scroll down a little bit. 17 plus 44, 7 plus 44 would be 51. So this is going to be 61. So this is going to be equal to 61. And we're done.
Yay! All right, so most of us came up with that in our answers. Look at this. Oh, wow, that's pretty complicated. Let's do a couple problems first. All right. Here we go, some skill probes. I think example number 1 is too easy for you guys. Let's just do one of them, and then we'll move on to example number 2. All right. Let's see here. No, we're not going to do that. Let's just move on. Example 2. All right, let's work with number 1. We have parentheses 79 minus 8 squared plus 18 divided by 9. And they give you some answer choices. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this, and I'll kind of, I'll do this first one with you. You have to give me a second to clear my board. All right, let's get a fresh screen. Let's take a picture of what I was doing. Plenty of room to write. Oh, that didn't take a picture of what I wanted it to. Dang it. Took a picture of just, I don't even know what. All right, whatever. I'll just rewrite it over here. Okay, here we go. So this first one, go ahead and write it down with me as I'm doing it, okay? 79 minus 8 squared plus 18 divided by 9. Well, we remember our order of operations as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, so we know that parentheses come first, and it doesn't matter which one I want to work out first. So let's just, I like changing my color. Let's just start with this first one. 79 minus 8 squared. Well, I can't figure out the parentheses until I figure out my 8 squared. So what is 8 squared?
64.
Perfect. So think of this as really saying 79 minus 64. So everybody, what's 79 minus 64?
I already sent it to you.
15.
Okay, perfect. Now we come over here and let's do our second set of parentheses. This is easy. 18 divided by 9 is, hold up
2.
your fingers. All right. All right.
The writing's so small on my little screen, I can't tell if it's division, adding, or if it's 8 times 3 or anything.
You can't see my screen here where I'm writing in red and blue. That's not big enough.
No, I'm talking about the answers with the, like, elevate and all that, with, like, 79 minus. It's so small, I can't tell if it's division or adding or anything.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
the division almost like looks like a minus sign.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was a plus sign.
Well,
It looks like
I'll
a plus.
rewrite it on my screen, nice and big for you, so that you
Alright,
can see it. All right, so
alright.
let's do another one, and I'll rewrite it for you. Okay, so our second one, which I'm gonna let you guys try on your own, at least for a couple minutes, is parentheses 95 minus 3 to the fourth power plus 9 divided by 3. Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes to start at least giving that a shot. Okay.
Hmm.
So remember your order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Hmm.
Okay, got it. All righty.
I'm about to send it to you.
Perfect. Yes, send it to me in the chat. You can send me a private.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And Clara, you are correct. And that's okay, Sienna. We're going to be figuring this out together. All right. So we're starting off with our first set of parentheses. I can't do this subtraction problem until I know what 3 to the fourth power is equal to. So what is 3 to the fourth power, everyone?
243.
Ooh, let's back up a little bit. Remember, 3 to the fourth power is the same as saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so work that
Sent
out
it.
for a minute. I like to look at it like this. Okay, so now what's 9 times 9?
81.
Perfect. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is the same as saying 9 times 9, and so 81. So if we back up here, now my problem says 95 minus 81. So what's 95 minus 81?
14.
Perfect. Yep, I mean, just a simple subtraction problem, just 95 minus 81 woo, is 14. So let me change my color again. Let's do blue. So I'm going to write 14 underneath that first set of parentheses. Now this is mental math. What is 9 divided by 3? 3. Good. So now my problem is simply 14 plus 3. And so what's my answer?
17.
17.
Perfect. Okay. Getting a little easier, hopefully? Yes? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's do one more. I'm going to rewrite it for you again so that it's big so you can see it. I'm looking at number 3. This one is a little different. They're getting a little harder. 14 divided by 2 plus ooh, 12 minus 8 parentheses squared. Ah, this one might trick you guys. Be careful. What do you always do first?
Parentheses.
Yes. So don't be trying to square your 8 before you do the parentheses problem. Okay, I'll give you a minute to start working this one. We'll do Denver Bronco colors on this next one. As you get an answer, go ahead and type it into the chat.
Seven.
Good. Yes.
I sent it.
Yes. Ooh, Tyler, I'm not sure about that one. Oh, well, you just typed it in again. Interesting. All right. Oh, that must be Tyler Scoffel who's joining us. Sorry. You came just a couple minutes late and I didn't know you were here. Welcome. All right. Parentheses first, guys. So what is 12 minus 8?
4.
4. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the expression. So now my equation says 14 divided by 2 plus 4 squared. What does my order of operations say I need to do next?
Exponents.
Exponents. So what's 4 squared?
16.
Yes, 4 times 4 is 16. So let me rewrite it. So now my equation is 14 divided by 2 plus 16. Well, we know that we have to do, woo, that's ugly. We have to do division first. So, and it just works out that it's working left to right anyway. But what's 14 divided by 2? Well, that's easy. 7 plus 16. And so what's my final answer?
23.
Yay! 23. Let me see a happy face into the chat if you're doing okay. This is making sense. Okay, good. Well, then let's move on to another skill. Yay! All right. Hopefully this one won't take forever to load, but you never know. All right, let's look. What is this going to ask us to do? Nothing, apparently, because it's not going to open. All right. Okay. Ooh, this will be fun. All right. And that's about as big as I can make it on the screen, but I'm going to read it to you. So maybe, yeah, if you can't see it, then I think you'll be able to get it. Number 1 says, which expression means the same as the sum of a number and 12? Remember, when they're talking about any old number, just number, it's called a variable. Okay, so the sum of a variable and 12. So your first answer would be a plus 12. Your second answer would be a divided by 12. Your third here would be a minus 12. And your fourth is 12 times a. The key here, good, I'm getting a couple people with the correct answer, is the word sum. Whenever you see the word sum, that means addition. Okay, perfect. So everybody is telling me that the answer would be A plus 12. Perfect. All right, so now you're going to need to, for number 2, write an expression that means the same as a number minus 9. And I don't care what variable you choose. So a number minus 9. Very good, Sienna. I hate that I have to like do a blank screen it like that every time. So I'm just gonna, very good, Clara. I'm gonna pick the variable b because I'm feeling like I like b today. B can stand for any number minus 9. Okay, so I could have had a B, I could have had an X, I could have had a C, whatever the case was. So that is an expression. All right, number 3 says, which expression means the same as a number multiplied by 7? So your first one reads n divided by 7. Your second is n plus 7, n minus 7, or n, 7 times n. Very good, Corbin. So yes, obviously it has to be D. This is confusing to some people when they are just right up next to each other like that. That means multiplication, okay? All right. Write an expression that means the same as a number divided by 5. So any number divided by 5.
I don't think I have the division sign on my keyboard.
Oh yeah, you don't. Okay. And you don't need to type it all out. Let's just use the variable x. So, oh yes, you could do a slash. That's right. So you could say x divided by 5, or you can say x divided by 5, or you can change your variable. It could be c divided by 5. Perfect. All right, you guys are rocking this morning. This is fun. We're like doing pretty high level skills here. We're doing algebra. Moving
Is
on.
that ninth grade?
Well, it depends on what level of algebra, and we're kind of doing some pre-algebra background work right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's okay. All right, let's see. We're gonna get harder and harder. Woo! Scroll down. Here we go. Here's another little Khan Academy video for us. Be fun.
Another one. YOLO.
And here we go. And I definitely overplan. Okay, here we go. Yay.
A local hospital is holding a raffle as a fundraiser. The individual cost of participating in the raffle is given by the following expression: 5t plus 3, or 5 times t plus 3, where t represents the number of tickets someone purchases. Evaluate the expression when t is equal to 1, t is equal to 8, and t is equal to 10.
Okay, so I just paused it. So we are going to evaluate an algebraic expression. So what we're going to need to do for our first example is plug in a 1 where you see the t, and then for our second problem, we'll plug in an 8 and so forth. So it gets pretty easy. This very first one is, at least. There's got to be an easier way for me to get a blank screen. Whatever. All right, so our algebraic expression is 5t plus 3 equals, and t is the number of tickets a person purchased. So let's just say that a person purchased 1 ticket in our first example. So we're going to have 5 times 1 plus 3. Order of operations tells you to do your multiplication first. Which is great because it's working left to right. So everybody, what's 5 times 1? 5 plus 3. And so how much
Equals
would
8.
this? Yeah, okay, so that first example is very easy. Now let's say for our second example that t equals 8 instead of 1. So now, how do you rewrite that equation? It would be 5 times 8 plus 3. So if I bought 8 tickets, how much would that equal? Very good, Tyler.
What is that?
I don't know. Should be pretty easy. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 3. Very good. All right. Yeah, you guys are doing great this morning. And then look at this. This is mental math. We could just plug in a 10 where we see that 5. What's 5 times 10? 50. 50 plus 3? $53. All right, so we don't need to spend any more time there. We're doing good. Yay! Let's move on to more algebraic expressions, and oh man, I overplanned big time. Let's do two-step equations because you guys are just rocking.
In your
Okay.
email, did you have star skills on there? Because I thought we had star skills on there.
Yeah, that's what we were just looking at when I was showing this screen. These are all of our star skills. And I was going through
Oh,
some algebraic expressions. But now we're going to work with some harder stuff. And then next week, we can maybe pick up with, see how it gets harder and harder and harder. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Here's our first practice problem. Find the value of the expression 20 minus t minus 3 times u. Okay, now you're going to have to plug in a 4 for t, and you're going to have to plug in, well, I guess another 4 for the variable u. Remember your order of operations. Go for it.
my computer is low on battery again.
Oh no, plug it in. Very good, Sienna. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to do another blank one and write. Good, Corbin. Excellent. All right. Hopefully we can all see yellow. So I'm going to plug in 20 minus, they told me t was 4, minus 3 times 4 again. All right. Order of operations. Which problem do I need to work out first?
3 times 4.
Yeah, the multiplication problem comes before the subtraction. So I'll rewrite my expression now as 20 minus 4 minus 3 times, oh, whoops, I totally messed that up. Sorry. I'm moving that over. Okay. Don't look at that anymore. All right, let me rewrite that. 20 minus 4 minus 12. There we go. All right, so now we can work from left to right, and it's pretty easy. 20 minus 4 is 16, minus 12 equals 4. Okay, so let me come over here and see my answer. Yay! All right, here we go. Let's try another one. Find the value of the expression P equals 1 and Q equals 1. All right, guys, this probably is mental math because I'm looking at it and these are all addition signs. So all you need to do is plug in ones and work from left to right. Good, Tyler. Good, Tyler. Tyler. Yeah, I know. Good, Clara. Yes, it is 20. Brilliant. All right, now this one's a little more complicated because at least we have some different things that we need to do here. D equals 7, so we're going to plug in a 7, and then G equals 4. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this one because it's a little bit more complicated.
I can't tell if that's plus or division.
Okay, I'm going to rewrite it. Just give me a second. All right, here we go. It's going to be in pink. 2 plus 14 divided by, and they told us D equals 7, plus, and they told me D equals 4 minus 2. All right, very good, Tyler. When I see, all addition and division and subtraction and multiplication, sometimes I like to go in and put a parentheses around the problem that I have to do first. In this case is the division. So 14 divided by 7, we all know is 2. So now I could rewrite my equation as 2 plus 2 plus 4 minus 2. And you work from left to right now. And so very good, guys. Yes, your answer would be 6. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 4 is 8. Minus 2 is 6. Woo! You guys are smoking hot today. Why is it taking forever? There we go. Fantastic. All right. All right, let's go find some harder stuff. Just to give you 1 or 2 hard problems before you go. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right, go to it already. There we go. Order of operations again with integers. Oh, tricky, tricky. We have a -2 minus 0. So we have to think about negatives now. So -2 minus 0, and then divided by parentheses 8 minus 9. Oh, crazy. Let me get you a blank screen and rewrite this.
Yeah, I can't tell
Here's
if
our
it's an
challenge
answer.
problem for the day, and I'll leave you with this. -2 minus 0 divided by, and then another parentheses, 8 minus 9. Okay, change my color because I like colors. I'm going to work with this set of parentheses first, just because. 8 minus 9, we all know, would be -1, right? Because 9 is 1 bigger than 8. And then let's go back to this set of parentheses. -2 minus 0. Well, that's nothing. So it would just be
Yeah.
-2. So now my problem is -2 divided by -1. Little lesson for you, and I know you guys haven't probably seen it yet, but that's okay. When you divide a negative by a negative, it cancels these out, and your answer will always be positive. So just kind of think of them going away. And so what is 2 divided by 1? Hello, just 2. All right. All right, guys. Yeah, exactly. Well, and you didn't know this, but when you divide a negative by a negative, the answer becomes positive. All right. So I'm going to end just a couple minutes early so that I can get ready for my next virtual classroom. But are there any questions on anything that we did today?
No, but I'm gonna send you a random message, and can you tell me if you get this right away? These I keep sending you answers, but from the looks sounds of it, you're not getting them.
Okay, yeah. Let's look. Yeah, I just saw it now. It said hi.
Okay.
So yeah, you know what? I have been seeing you, Tyler B. You answered 6. You answered, yeah, definitely. I've been seeing your answers. So
You know, I'm just saying some other answers they were never seen. Like I sent them,
oh,
but
really?
like they never showed up on there. So
I think what happens sometimes with GoToMeeting is if like everybody logs in. All right. So our world-class outcome today, we are going to be making sense of, and that means we're going to interpret, evaluate, summarize, synthesize problems, and persevere in solving them. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's our goal. We all know about our rules of being respectful, responsible, and ready. You guys are fantastic. So no worries there. And one thing I want to start off with is our October count week. Count week and October 1st are very, very important. What the state does is they need to make sure that you get counted in order for money to be distributed for you. So, what you have to do every day this week and Monday and Tuesday of next week is make sure that you submit an assignment. You don't have to do an assignment in every single class, like every single subject, but you have to do at least one assignment and complete it. Okay. And that could be a quiz or it could be, just a simple assignment. Then,
I have a question.
okay.
In the October counting, what if you don't have something to submit?
Um, let's see. Well, can you save up some work? Like submit. I don't know. Like if you have 3 things to do on one day, maybe
Mm-hmm.
kind of space them out so that you submit something every day instead of all in one day.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and guys, here's the really important day. October 1st is the really important day. And don't worry. I'm going to give you plenty to submit on October 1st. And let me show you, and this goes for every grade level, an example. So you're not going to be able to see it until October 1st because I don't want you to do it before then. But when October 1st comes up, you're going to go to your homeroom. And do you see this right here, how it's gray? It will be black on October 1st, so you'll be able to see it. And it's kind of a fun assignment. You're going to help me design an assessment. Um, and don't worry, when you take the assessment, you won't even know it's a test because it's going to be kind of a fun project. You won't do it till November. But anyway, here's what you're going to do on October 1st. You are going to probably using like Google, just typing into the Google search engine. You're going to find either a picture, maybe some data, or a chart or a graph on one of the following topics. And let me go over the topics. Yes, Lucas.
Is this for 5th grade or 6th grade too?
It's for all grades. Yes. So all grades will see this October 1st assignment on your homeroom page.
Okay.
And so what you're going to do, and you can look at all of these different topics, and you're just going to find one that kind of interests you. So maybe you want to look up data on the pollution numbers over the last 50 years. Or maybe you want to look at maybe some pictures of the colonists during the Revolutionary period. Or maybe you want to look at traffic patterns or crowded parking lots, pictures of that. Or maybe you want to find some data on the traffic patterns and how they've increased over the last 50 years. All you have to do is just find one. Okay? So are there any questions on your October 1st assignment? You will not see it until October 1st. I will not open, they call it opening the eye. But trust me, you will get several emails and reminders to do it. But all right, we'll go ahead and get started with today's work. We are going to be practicing some more work with decimals. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay. We're going to start comparing decimal numbers, and we're going to start off with a little Khan Academy video and then some practice problems.
What's Khan Academy? Is that what we did last time?
No, it's actually different. But yeah, you'll see. It's just a man.
Okay.
A math man.
Use less than or greater than for this little brackets thing to write a true sentence. So they essentially want us to say whether 45 and 675 thousandths is greater than or less than 45 and 645 thousandths. So let's look at each of these numbers. So I'm going to just write them on top of each other. So the first number is 45 and 675 thousandths. And the second number is 45 and 645 thousandths. Now, when you look at everything here, the only place where these two numbers are different is in the hundredths place. We have 700ths here, and we have 400ths here. Everything is the same, so this number is going to be greater.
Okay, pretty
This
simple.
number is
Stop talking, mister. All right, pretty simple stuff. Obviously, which one is greater?
going to be
The one on
greater.
top.
This
So
number is
let's
greater than
jump in and do some actual practice
45.645
problems.
or 645.
I have to stop the video. Okay, there we go. All right, get ready. Here we go. We're going to move kind of fast today. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to be pulling up my sketch screen so that I can write on the screen as well. There we go. Number 1 says, compare the two decimals given in expanded form. So they are looking at decimals here in expanded form. So it looks like we have to actually do a little bit of a problem before we can figure it out. So it reads 6 plus 8 hundredths Okay, and is that greater than or less than 6 plus 100ths? Well, okay, hold on. 6 plus 100ths. Looking at this, you could probably add them up pretty easily in your head and just rewrite it as 6th and 800ths and then 6th and 100ths. Now, pretty simple stuff. I just did this one for you, the first one for you. We all know that 6 and 800ths would be the bigger of the two. So let's look at question number 2, and I'll let you guys work this out. Compare the two decimals given in expanded form. So now we have 9 and 600ths is greater than, less than, or equal to 9 and 400ths. Go ahead and type into the chat the correct sign, greater than, less than, or equal to. You have them down kind of close to your space bar. Yes, Grace Elizabeth.
Where is my chat at?
Look in your GoToMeeting control panel, and there should be a word that says chat, and click on it.
Oh, got it.
Okay, cool. So we're looking at number 2.
Is the blue sign this way or this way? Okay.
Perfect, Tristan. That's right, AJ. All right, so 9 and 600ths is greater than 9 and 400ths. So number 1 and number 2 were pretty easy. Let's move on to, this is going to get a little more complicated. Number 3, compare the two decimals given in expanded form. So let me go ahead and clear my board, and I'll rewrite it for you because it's kind of long. Okay, give me a second to move my control panel out of the way. And here we go. Just kidding. Moving my screens around is kind of
come. Tango.
All right. 3 plus 7/10 plus 600ths. And then over here, we're going to compare it to 3 plus 700ths plus 7,000ths. Ooh, what did I do? I made that small. There it goes. Okay. There we go. Okay, so do this with me. I'm going to change the color right underneath it. So we need to add the whole number 3 plus 7/10 plus 600ths. So this should be pretty easy. Whole number, decimal point. We know that the tenths place comes right there. And then the hundredths place is right there. So that just reads 3.76 hundredths. Give me a thumbs up if you have your webcam on, or a happy face into the chat if that makes sense so far. Okay, kinda? All right, good. So I'm going to move on to adding these up so that then we can compare them. So we have a whole number 3 again, so that's pretty easy. Now we don't have anything in the tenths place. So now I have to add a 0 there, because see how that there's nothing there? Then in the hundredths place, we have a 7. Great. Then in the thousandths place, we have another 7. So now that reads 3.77 So now looking at these two numbers, they both have 3's in the ones place. So we got to move on. We have a 7 in the tenths place, and we have a 0 over here. So which one is the bigger?
7.
Go ahead and type into the chat which one would be the bigger of the two. Where's my chat? No. Okay, so you should have recognized that 3.76 would be the bigger of the two. Okay. Whoa, I'm getting my spinning wheel. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this to go away. Go away. Go away, Sketch. Okay. All right. Go away. Oh, I love this. There we go. I wanted my screen to come back and I wanted Sketch to kind of fade away into the distance. All right, here we go. Let's work on number 4. We have compare the two decimals again using expanded form. So now we have 4 and 2 hundredths is greater than, equal to, or less than 4 plus 2 hundredths plus, just kidding, 2 tenths plus 6 hundredths plus 8 thousandths. So you got a couple steps again. I'm going to let you guys work this one out on your own. And then just type into the chat less than, greater than, or equal to. Good, AJ. AJ, would you be willing to tell us, and good Claire, how you got that answer so quickly? AJ, are you there?
Yeah.
So AJ, I don't think that you probably even had to write this down. Is that right?
Yeah.
You probably just were able to look at it. So why don't you tell the group what you did in order to figure that out so quickly?
I just went to, so the first ones are 4, and then I just looked at the one next to the 4, and then it's 0. So I went to the next column, that one's 0, and the other one's 2.
Okay, so he compared the whole numbers. That's what he was saying. He compared the 4s and they were the same. So then he moved on to the tenths position and he saw that this first example had a 0 in the tenths position. And then over here he saw that the second example had a 2 in the tenths position. So right away he knew that this one was going to be greater. So he didn't have to go any further. Yes, Grace Elizabeth.
I don't have any plus signs or plus signs or something to show you that I can which one's bigger than.
Look down by your space bar and down by the letter M. Do you see the greater than and less than signs?
Oh yeah, now I see it.
Yeah, you just have to push shift and then whichever one you want it to use. Okay?
Okay.
Very cool. All right, let's move on. Give me a thumbs up or a happy face if that was pretty easy. Okay, good. Do. All right, another short little video and I'll stop it again if it's easy, but now we are going to work with rounding decimals. Here we go.
Round to 9.564 or 9 and 564 thousandths to the nearest tenth. So let me write it a little bit larger. 9.564. And we need to round to the nearest tenth. So what's the tenth place? The tenth place is right here. This right here represents 5/10. This is the ones place, this is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place, and this is the thousandths place right here. So we need to round to the nearest tenth. So if we round up, this will be 9.6. If we round down, this will be 9.5. And just like regular rounding, when we're not dealing with decimals, you move to one spot or you look at one place to the right or one place lower, I guess, and you say, is that 5 or larger? If it is, you round up. If it isn't, you round down. 6 is definitely 5 or larger, so we want to round up. We want to round up. So this 9.564 becomes 9.6. 9.6, or we could call this 9 and 6 tenths. And then we're done.
Okay, so I got a question in the chat about rounding. So let me go ahead and pull up another blank screen for you. And yes, if you were going to round, Tristan's question was if you were going to round to the nearest whole number, what would it be? And he thought it would be 10, and he was correct. But remember, we were working with the number 9.564. They were asking us to round to the nearest tenth. So we had to look at the tenths position. And that's where they came up with 9.6. But now let's change this same problem a little bit and let's round to the nearest, let's go easy. Let's round to the nearest whole number. So here is your whole number 9. Look to the number to the right. Is it a 5 or bigger? Yes. So what would the nearest whole number be?
10.
You can hold up, yes, 10. Because it would be closer to 10 than it would be to 9. All right, I'm going to take it a step further and we're going to round to a couple different places, place values. Okay, so we've already worked with whole number, we've already worked with the tenths. Now we're going to work with rounding to the nearest hundredth. So look to the number to the right. Is it a 5 or bigger?
No.
No, it's not. So you would leave it alone and you would say it is 9.56. And that is rounding to the nearest hundredth position. All right. So that was pretty fun. That was pretty easy. Let's do some more practice problems. Hudson, you can come back at 10:30. Okay, here we go. So number 1, hopefully you can read this. It says round 17.35 to the ones place. So I'm going to do this first one with you again. I hate how I have to like clear my screen each time. I wish it would just wipe clean, but all right. Anyway, 17.35. Who can tell me what number is in the ones place? Why don't you type it into the chat? Which one of these numbers is in the ones place?
I have a question. Do you mean in decimals or in whole numbers?
Whole numbers, ones.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm getting some people saying 5, and that's not correct because that is actually in the hundredths place. So I'm looking at the ones position, and that would be a 7, right? So this is the ones. Whoa, why did that move? Dang it. All right. Sorry, that's kind of sloppy, but you get the point. Here's the ones position, and here's the tens. All right, so we are going to round to the number in the nearest ones position. So look to the number to the right. Is it a 5 or greater?
No.
No, it is not. So what would my number be? It would just be 17.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's do another one together. Very good, Grace Elizabeth. Round 59.12 to the ones place again. So let me write it. 59. So start off simple in your head. Which number is in the ones column?
9.
You're 9, definitely. Okay, so what would this round to?
59.
Yeah, it would just be a simple 59. AJ, how did you figure that out?
Because the one next to the 9 isn't 5 or higher.
That is correct. The number to the right of the 9 is not higher than 5 or 9. 5 or higher. So you would just leave it as 59. Okay, how are we doing, guys? Pretty easy? Okay, so then these next two, I'm going to talk a little less. Round 724.314 to the nearest tenth. let me show you this clean. Okay, so we had
Tango, go.
okay to the nearest 10th. First step that you should think about in your head, which number is in the 10th position? Tenths. So you got to look at this TH, that means decimal. So which number is in the 10th position?
2.
It'd be your 3, right? Okay, so round to the nearest 10th. Here's your next step. Look to the number to the right.
It'll say the same.
So you'd leave your whole numbers alone. And if I'm just writing to the nearest 10th, would I put a 3 or would I change it up to a 4?
Just put the 3.
Yep, just keep it as a 3 because this is not 5 or greater. So I just rounded to the nearest 10th. Okay, let's do our last example on this skill at least. Round 382.166 to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so we have 382.166. First step in your head, you need to think which number is in the hundredth position. Notice that TH. Type that into the chat. Which number is in the hundredths position? Good. Check it out, guys. There is no number to the left. Whoops. There's no number to the right is what I meant to say. So
how do you do that?
You don't. It's done.
Can't
Yeah.
round it.
So that was kind of a trick question on their part. There is nothing over here to tell me what to do to change that 6. So I have to leave it alone. I have to treat this as a 0. So obviously 0 is not bigger than 5. So we would just leave it like it is. And that's it. All right. Fun stuff today, guys. Yay. Let's move on. Move on down the line. Yay. Okay. Sorry, I can't hold my pen and use my mouse at the same time or it doesn't move my screen. All right, let's look at some of these. Let's go a little harder. Okay. Here we go. Maybe, click. Hello. There we go. Okay. Whoa, so now we're going to move into our adding and subtracting decimals. Are you guys ready for this? I think you are. We were doing some practice with this last week, and so it should be pretty easy. We have, notice, I love how they did this, how they gave us the place value chart. When I rewrite it, there's not a chance I'm going to be able to do that because I cannot draw straight lines. But look what they did. They made sure that they lined up their decimals really neatly, and that makes it so much easier. All right, so first problem is 23 and 65 hundredths plus 6 and 51 hundredths. Go for it. They give you some choices too. It could be A, B, C, or D. Okay. So I'm going to pause until I start seeing some answers in the chat. Good, Grace Elizabeth. All right, this was easy. Most of us came up with the answer right away, and 30 and 1600ths. Okay, so just notice 5 plus 6, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. I carried my 1. And then 1 plus 3 plus 6 is 10. Carried my 1 again. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. Yes, Tristan.
I just couldn't answer the problem that quick because I had to first get my pencil and notebook.
That's okay. No worries. Let's skip down to number 3. Let's make it a little harder. Okay, 55.4 plus 22 and 75 hundredths. All right, guys, what would you do if you were going to work out this problem? I think the best thing that you should do is just add that 0, that place value holder, so that you don't get confused. And then go for it. This will be our last addition, then we'll move on to maybe a couple subtraction, and then we will move on to harder multiplication. Woohoo! Then we could even get into division if you want. Good, Tristan.
Thanks.
All right, so very good, AJ. 78 and 1500ths. Perfect. Okay, you guys have rocked this skill, so let's do a couple subtraction ones, and then we will move on to multiplication of decimals. Woohoo! Okay. All right. Here we go. Whoa! Crazy. They give us some pictures that might help us visualize it as well. But just rewriting it as a, basic subtraction problem up and down ways is probably just as easy. So our first one says 2.8 minus 2.1. Mental math. Should be able to recognize that answer immediately. 8 minus 7 is 8 minus 1, sorry, is 7. Perfect.
0.
There we go. All right, so our answer would have been A. Let's move on, and I'll let you guys work out number 2. It reads 3.2 minus, or I should read it correctly, 3 and 2 tenths minus 2 and 4 tenths. Now you have to do some borrowing.
Oh.
Good, AJ. And there we go, 0.8. Very nice. All right, guys, you guys ready to move on to some division? I mean, not division. Let's do multiplication first. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I think so. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Which number sentence is represented by the model shown? So it's actually pretty easy if you just take it slow. Take it slow with me at first. This section of two little bars accounts for 2/10 or 0.2. So this is 2/10 plus 2/10 plus 2/10, and then this would be another 2/10 and another 2/10. So which one of these equations is showing the shaded amount?
Can we type in just the letter, like
Yeah,
A,
you can
B, or
type in
C?
just, yep, A, B, C, D, whatever. Yep. Okay. All right, so this one tricked us a little bit. And maybe it's because it's kind of small on your screen. But look, guys, I have 3 sections of 0.2. Okay, so here's 0.1, here's 0.2. So 3 sections of 0.2. So my answer would be 3 times 0.2. So the answer would be A. And then just a little side note for you. All right. Oh, I picked up a marker. When you are doing a multiplication problem that involves decimals, here is a really easy way of figuring out where I would put my decimal point. Look at this problem. How many numbers come behind the decimal? Just one. So in my answer, just one digit will come behind the decimal. Okay, so that's a really easy way of remembering it. There's one number behind my decimal point in my problem. There will be one number behind my decimal point in my answer. Okay? All right, let's move on to number 2. Write a multiplication sentence that is represented by the model shown. So we have sections of 0.4. How many of them are shaded? Here's one shaded block, 2, 3, and then 4. So my multiplication sentence, I'll just write it for you, would be 4/10 times 4. All right, this is probably mental math. When you're doing a problem this simple, you would just look at the 4 times 4 first, and that's 16. But what did I just say about decimal points? How many digits come behind the decimal in my problem? Just one. So how many digits can come behind the decimal in my answer? Just one. So my answer would be 1.6. Ooh. You guys want to see that up and down ways? I'll show you. Okay. Very good, AJ. Okay. So, I wish I had not written that little tiny dot. Just ignore that. Okay.
Oh, I get it now.
Yes. So how many digits come behind the decimal in my problem? Just one. So in my answer, I will have just one digit behind the decimal. Okay? All right. Go blow your nose, Lucas. Let's see if we can get something that looks a little different. Okay. Woohoo! Each row and each column represents 1/10 of the whole. Each small square represents 1/100th. So this is a hundredths chart, basically. You guys have seen those before. You know that the blocks all count for just 1/100th, and then the bars count for 1/10. So which number is represented by the model? Ooh. So what are they asking us here? They're asking us which number is represented by the model. Well, It looks like they shaded in 8/10. Oh, it's a subtraction problem. So we would have, or is it a multiplication problem? 1/10 times 8/10 equals 8/100. Or would we have 8/10 minus, no, B is incorrect. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Or would we have 1/10 times 8 equals 8/10? Ooh, this is tricky. The best answer would be C because they're just looking at the shaded blocks. And so that would be the way to express C. Okay. That's going to be hard for me to write, so I'm going to find some more problems that I could actually write down. Because I cannot draw a hundreds chart, just telling you that right now. Okay. All right, let's see what these look like. Okay, these are just basic problems. Whoa, this is going to be a super cool little lesson for you. When you are multiplying by a 10 or 100 or 1,000, basically by a power of 10, it is so simple. It becomes mental math very easily. So your first problem says 5 and 34/100 times 10. When you are doing anything times 10, you're going to move your decimal place over one time because there is 1 0. So you're just going to move it over one place and it becomes 53.4. Look how easy that was. Think in your head though. Does that make sense? I mean, if I'm looking at this number, this is about 5. If I rounded it, 5.34 is about 5. 5 times 10 is 50. So is my answer, does that make sense to you? 53.4? It should.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's make that same problem slightly harder. Claire, how many zeros do you see? 2. So I'm going to move my decimal place over 2 times. I'm making it bigger because it's 100 times bigger, right? So move my decimal place over 2 times, and what does my answer become? 534. Give me a thumbs up or a happy face in the chat if that makes sense to you. Good. This will work even if I'm working with really huge, oops, I wanted to do red, really huge numbers like times 10,000. It's still going to work. And let me show you how. You're like, but I don't know where the decimal is going to go. Well, let me show you. Let's just start off with times 1,000. Tristan, how many zeros do you see there?
30.
Good. So I'm going to move my decimal place over 3 times. It's going to be 1,000 times bigger. So watch this. Once, twice. Uh-oh, now what do I do? Move it over again and add a 0. So what does my answer become? 5,340. All right, yay! Okay, guys, so I'm going to go back to the actual problems because I went off on a little tangent there. Let's look at problem number 2. 4.4 times 10. That should be mental math by now. Go ahead and type your answer into the chat. Good, Lucas. You see 1 0, so move your decimal place over 1 time. You're making 4.4 10 times bigger, and that is correct. Your answer would be 44. All right, let's move on to number 3. That is correct, Claire. 44 is correct. 0.3, or I should say 3/10 times 100. Move your decimal place over 2 times. Make it 100 times bigger. Okay, so let me show this one just in case. 0.3 times 100. I have to move my decimal place over 2 times. So 1, 2. Add my 0, and what is my answer? 30. 30. Okay. That one was kind of tricky. All right, let's look at this next one. Works the same way whether I put 100 first or if I put it as the second number. 100 times 1.88. How many zeros do you see?
2.
2. So move your decimal place over 2 times. Good, Lucas. And what does your answer become?
188.
188. Perfect. Good job, Grace Elizabeth. All right, guys. Well, we have about like 1 minute left, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go so that I can get ready for the 10:30 group. Are there any questions about today?
No.
No, you guys did fantastic. Wow, I completely overplanned because we didn't get to any of that. But hey, guess what? There's always next time. So, have a fantastic day, and I will see you all on Monday. Please don't forget all of your October 1st count week stuff that we talked about. All right, bye 945 group.
Bye.
Bye Grace Elizabeth. Bye Claire. Bye Tristan. First things first, our world-class outcome that we're going to be working on is making sense of, and that means interpreting, evaluating, summarizing, and synthesizing math problems and persevere while solving them. So pretty obvious, I think. That's what we're doing. Yay, and Emma just joined us. Just remember that our rules are to be respectful, be responsible, and be ready. So probably the biggest thing to remember is that if you have your webcam on or your chat going, that you are, yay, very good, Riley. That you're making sure that you're on topic, basically. Okay. All right, here we go. First discussion topic that we have is October count week and then, of course, October 1st. It is really important that every day you submit one thing. It doesn't matter what subject. It could be math or it can be science, whatever. At least one thing gets turned in every day, and that's so that you get counted by the state. You don't want to not be counted. That would be bad. And then October 1st is a really important day where you have a little bit more to turn in on that day because they're really looking for a lot of work to be done on October 1st in order to count you. Okay, so let me explain your extra October 1st assignment. You have a couple. And oh, I went to the 6th grade homeroom. Let me go to my, no, I didn't. Never mind. Okay, so October 1st, you're going to see at the bottom of the announcements, you're going to see this October 1st assignment. And I am not going to turn it on for you guys until October 1st because I do not want you to do it before then or after. So on October 1st, you'll see it. You don't see it now. But I wanted to explain it. So hopefully you won't have any questions. What you're going to be doing is helping me create a test. And it's going to be a fun test. And you probably won't even feel like you're taking the test when you do take it. But it will be at the end of our NASA unit. And what I'm going to need you to do, and probably just Google, using just Google, you're going to find either a picture or some data or like maybe a chart or a graph on one of the following topics. You don't have to do all of them. Just pick one that sounds interesting to you. So maybe you want to go find some pictures of pollution or a picture of a crowded parking lot. Or maybe you want to go find some data on the traffic patterns over the last 50 years. Or maybe you want to go find some information on the colonists in the Revolutionary period. Or maybe you want to find a picture of them. All you have to do is just one, okay? So whichever one, okay, who has the dog?
I've got a dog, but that's not mine.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's my dog.
Okay, well, if you want to, you can turn off your microphone or just pet your
Okay.
doggy and make him happy, whatever, so he doesn't bark. So anyway, you will find a picture, some data, or a chart or a graph on any of the following, and then you will submit it. So that will be an extra little fun assignment for you to do a little research on October 1st. Okay. Any questions on count week and submitting work every day, or what you have to do on October 1st?
No.
Okay. So submitting work means you can't just log in and look at your work. You actually have to do something and submit it, okay? So finish a test or upload an assignment. All right. Okay, guys, so we're going to jump into more work with multiplication and division today. So get your piece of paper and pencil ready, and here we go. We're going to start off with multiplying one-digit numbers by 2 to 4-digit whole numbers. And we have a little video to get us going, and then some practice problems. Maybe it's going to take a minute, apparently. There we go. Okay, here we go.
If you've practiced and hopefully memorized your multiplication tables, you'll now find out that you're prepared to do most any multiplication problem. You just have to understand, I guess for lack of a better word, the system of how to do it. But we're not just going to teach you the system, we're going to show you why it works. So let's start with a multiplication problem that you probably think that you don't know how to do. Let's do 16 times 9. 16 times 9. You immediately might say, Sal, I haven't memorized my 16 times tables. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that problem. And my answer to you is you can absolutely do it because we can break it down into problems that you do know the answer to. The way to do it is first multiply 9 times the ones place here. So you multiply 9 times 6. And I think you know what 9 times 6 is. I'll write it down here. So 9 times 6 is 54. You know that from your multiplication tables. And so what you do is you write 54, but you only write the 4 down here in the ones place, and you carry the 5. Or, oh yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We also use the word carry when you add and you kind of have an extra 5 to deal with, but let's just call that carrying for lack of better words as well. Now, we multiply 9 times 1. 9 times 1. Well, that's straightforward. 9 times 1 is equal to 9. Anything times 1 is equal to 9. But we have this 5 sitting up here, so 9 times 1, we have to add that 5. So we have to add that plus 5. So plus 5.
Plus you.
So what do we get? So 9 times 1 plus 5 is 9 plus 5, which is 14. 14. Let me write it right there. 4. And there you have it. 16 times 9 is 144. And if you remembered your times tables up to 12, you'll also realize that's 12.
Okay. So I paused it so that we can start off with a couple of easy practice problems like we just saw, and then we'll get a little bit harder. Here we go. Okay, so our first problem, some of you might do this really quickly, and that would be great too. And others might have to take a little bit more time, and that's all right. Our first one is 22 times 4. Okay. So I'm going to let you go through this one on your own. And when you get an answer, go ahead and type it into the chat. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start working this problem out. Very good, Adam. 4 times 2, everybody, is 8. That was my first step. And then my second step would be 4 times 2 again. So 4 times 2 again is 8. So your answer should have been 88. Okay, let's work and get a little bit more complicated. Let's skip down to number 3. 87 times 6. Do I have any volunteers to walk me through the steps? Oh, wait a minute. Can you guys see my screen?
I can.
I'll come.
Okay, so you see where I just wrote in blue 87 times 6?
Yeah.
Oh, how weird, because I'm signed in as a guest and then on my other screen showing something different, but whatever. As long as you can see it, then I'm happy. All right. And you can see I just wrote in orange right now, everybody? Seems like
Yeah, that's like an orange wave.
okay, perfect. All right, so my first step would be to start over here in this column. So 6 times 7, anybody?
Wait, 1 second. I think I got it.
Oh, I just got a message that says slow connection. No kidding, GoToMeeting.
42.
Very good. Right, 2. And so what do I do with my 4? I have to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
Next step would be 6 times 8. Anybody?
6 times 8. 48.
Good. 48 plus 4.
48 plus
48
That's
plus
52.
4 is 52, right?
2.
Okay, so now we have our answer, 522. So Jaden, let's keep our chat on topic, and we'll try another one.
There's a lot of static. I can't really hear you.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off everybody else's microphones except for mine. So you're going to be typing your answers into the chat now because I can't hear you anymore. Does that help? I hope so. All right, 36 times 6. I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute to work that one out. Remember, your first step is to start here in the ones column and then multiply the ones by the tens. It really helps when you've memorized your multiplication facts, because then you can go a lot faster instead of having to go and look up all your facts while you're working out problems. Hey, kitty. Okay. All right, so my first step, Emma just typed into the chat that 6 times 6 equals 36. Carry my 3. My second step now, guys, is going to be 6 times 3. What's my multiplication fact there? 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 3. What's 18 plus 3? Oh, remember, guys, you have to type into the chat because I can't hear you. So 18 plus 3 is 21. So what is my final answer then? 216. All right. Let's see. I want you to type into the chat a happy face if you felt like this was pretty easy for you, and a sad face if maybe we need more practice. Okay? Because I didn't get a ton of people responding. Okay, so I'm getting kind of mixed answers. So let's just do a couple more. It's not a big deal. They're going to get maybe slightly harder. Oh, wow. They changed this up for us. This is actually easier to do. You might not think so yet, but you will here in a minute. This is actually mental math. You don't even have to write these problems down. And I'm going to show you what I mean. The first one says 30 times 3. When you are doing multiplication problems that has this really nice little, anything that ends in a 0 like this, like a 30 or a 10 or a 20, it makes it so simple. Let's just ignore it for a second. And let's do our basic problem. Our basic problem is 3 times 3. So everybody, what's 3 times 3? 9. Good. And then we can't completely forget about our 0. Guess what we're going to do? We're just going to add it on to the back. That's all you have to do. So what is your final answer? 30 times 3 equals 90. Give me a happy face if that made sense. Okay, good. All right, let's take kind of that same basic problem and let's do 300 times 3. Okay, so when you have numbers that end in zeros, again, it makes it really simple. Ignore them for just a second, not forever, but for a minute. And then Riley caught on to this pattern right away. Your answer would be 900 because you would do your basic problem of 3 times 3 is 9, and then just go and add your zeros onto the end. Okay? All right, perfect. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is right over here. It says 6 times 80. Okay. So ignore that 0 for just a minute and look at your basic problem. What is 6 times 8? Good. So then we had 1 0 that we needed to make sure ended up in our answer. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to turn on your microphone so that you could just tell me, is that pretty easy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you will never again sit there and write a problem that is this simple out like this and take forever to do it, right? You will know immediately the mental math function and just do the basic problem first and then just add your 0 onto the end. So, yay! Okay, you guys are getting it. Whoa! That one looks like they jumped
What in the world?
maybe a little bit too hard here. Okay, let's skip that.
Wow.
Okay, let's work with some 3-digit multiplication now instead of 2-digit. So 3, it looks like 3 and 4-digit. All right, so our first problem is, and I'll do it with you, 6,000. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys again. 6,625 times 5. It's not too bad because I'm only doing 4-digit times 1 digit, so it's not too bad. First step is to worry about my ones times my ones, and then my ones times my tens, hundreds, and thousands. So let me work this out with you. 5 times 10, sorry, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Carry my 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Carry my 3. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33. So my answer should be 33,125. Notice how much easier and how much faster I went because I know my multiplication facts, and so I was able to just move right along. Okay, I'm going to let you guys work out because I just keep jumping in here. I'm going to let you guys do number 2. 4,924 times 6. Let me give you a couple minutes to figure that out. Okay, so you should all be kind of plugging through it. I'm going to start slowly showing you the steps. D4, 12. Okay. Anybody coming up with the answers yet? What is 6 times 9? Type it into your chat. What is 6 times 9? I don't think so. I don't think it's 45. I think it's a little bigger. I think it's 54. And then plus 1 is 55. Then I would carry my 5. 6 times 4 is 20. Plus 5 is 25. So my final answer would be 25,544. All right, guys. So I think this is a lesson in knowing your multiplication facts. Because if you do not know your basic facts inside out and backwards and upside down, then doing these harder problems takes you forever because you have to go and you have to look up each one of them as you move along. All right. So let's see what else we can maybe close with today. Woo! Let's go back to that video that we were watching and scroll ahead. Maybe. No! All right, this is so sensitive. If I barely touch it, it like freaks out. Okay. Let's move to nope, that one's too easy. Let's make it a little harder, and this is what we'll be working on as
Let's
we go
start with a
forward.
warm-up problem to avoid getting any mental cramps as we learn new things. So this is a problem that hopefully if you understood what we did in the last video, you can kind of understand what we're about to do right now. And I'm going to escalate it even more. The last video we finished with I think we finished with a 4-digit number times a 1-digit number. Let's up the stakes to a 5-digit number. Let's do 6,400.
Whoa. Sorry.
Let's do 64,329 times, let me think of a nice number, times 4. Times 4. I'm going to show you right now that we're going to do the exact same process that we did in the last video. We just have to do it a little bit longer than we did before. So we just start off saying, okay, what's 4 times 9? 4 times 9 is equal to 36. Right, 18 times 2, we got 36. So we write the 6 down here. Carry the 3 up there. Just put the 3 up.
Notice how much quicker this would go, guys, if you didn't have to go over to the right-hand side and write down the multiplication facts, if you were just able to fluently just go through it without writing it down each time.
4 times 2, 4 times 2, 4 times 2, and then you're going to have to add the 3, so let me just write that there. Plus 3 is equal to, you do the multiplication first. You can think of it in order of operations, but you just should know that you do the multiplication first. So it's 8 plus, so 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is equal to 11. So this one down here and put the 110 and 11 up there. Then you got 4 times 3. 4 times 3. 4 times 3. You got that one up there, so you're going to have to add that plus 1 is equal to, that's going to equal 12 plus 1 is equal to 13. So it's 13. Then you have 4 times 4. 4 times 4. You have this little 1 hanging out here from the previous multiplication, so you're going to have to add that. And that's equal to 16 plus 1 is equal to 17. 7 down here. The 1 up there. We're almost done. Almost done. Then we have 4 times 6. 4 times 6 plus 1 plus 1. What is that? 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Put the 5 down here. There's nowhere to put the 2. There's no more multiplications to do, so we just put the 2 down there. So 64,329 times 4 is 257,316. And in case you're wondering, these commas don't mean much.
All right, so I went ahead and stopped it because we are definitely out of time for today, but we were able, oh my goodness, I totally overplanned, but that's okay because there's always a next time. So hopefully you guys are seeing the value of spending a little time working on your multiplication facts every day so that these processes can become easier and easier for you and we can start going faster and faster. Eventually, guys, we're going to be working into multiplying fractions and multiplying decimals, but we can't do that until we have the basics down first. So are there any questions from today?
No.
Okay, yes, your microphones are back on. All right, guys. So make sure that you do an assignment every day this week and next, and especially on Tuesday, October 1st. All right, guys, it's been fun. Give everybody a wave or just say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, no, you're there.